Hi everybody, this is Valerie Van Boeven. You are in the right place at the right time. We are going to talk today about O2O marketing for home care referrals and leads. And this is going to be a great webinar, lots of good information. So my recommendation to you, in order for you to increase your viewing pleasure, I want you to turn everything else off. Silence your phone, close your door, give yourself some time to learn these new things we're going to talk about. I want you to focus, and I want you to engage and actually participate with me today, because I'd like to hear from you. Because just like you all learn from me, I also learn from you. And stick around to the end, because I'm going to give away something super cool that you can use today. Also, we're going to do Q&A at the end of the webinar. So we will take questions at the end. Now, you can type your question in at any time, and you would want to do that using the questions little area in your dashboard. But we're going to do that toward the end. The other thing that we're going to use today is chat. Now, if you notice, there is a little chat section, and you can chat. Why don't you type a little message in there and hit send, and we'll practice that. So if you can see your little chat button, go ahead and chat with me. Tell me if you can see the chat. If you can't see it, that's okay too. I'm going to send a little chat to you. Okay, good. It looks like you guys are chatting with me, and it's straight to the questions, and that's perfectly fine. Okay. So we have all that figured out, so we know now that we can chat back and forth, and we're going to do a little bit of that today, because I do want to hear from you. And I would open up all of the lines, but that would make for a crazy amount of noise, so we won't be doing that. So here we go. So my goal for you today is for you to walk away from this webinar with a motivation and new ideas that will help you grow your home care business. And I spelled that wrong. I want you to grow your home care business. I want you to be successful. We all want to be successful. But I want you to walk away today with at least 1 or 2 new ideas that are going to help you grow your business. So we're going to get started with that. So the first thing I want to explain to you in that vein is what O2O marketing is. And it really means offline to online marketing. And I'm going to talk to you about this in a very simple way in a 5-phase system. So today we're going to talk about the 5 phases of offline to online marketing. And this is really, it simplifies it, it makes it easier for you to understand, and gives you a beginning and an end when it comes to offline to online marketing. Now, offline activities are anything you do in person, so that's networking and shaking people's hands and going to the doctor's offices to, hope to be their next referral source, or they're going to be your next referral source, visiting with the rehabs and the skilled nursing facilities and the assisted living facilities and the CCRCs, and all of those people that your marketing person or you as the owner are probably reaching out to, hopefully all the time. So those are offline activities. We're going to show you in a 5-phase system how to turn that into online marketing. All right, so the first thing we want to talk about is what is your biggest struggle with growing your home care business. So going back to that chat, tell me what your biggest struggles are with growing your home care business. Go ahead and just type it in there. Is it finding referrals? Is it getting leads? Getting caregivers, that's a good one. More referrals, getting past the gatekeeper, getting new clients in a very competitive market. Advertising does not work. Well, you'd be right about that. Getting leads, getting caregivers. There is no audio. Should I dial in for the audio? Yes. I'm just going to answer that. Yes. Dial in. Okay, so yes, dial in is for the person who asked if there's no audio, should I dial in? Getting referrals from hospitals, getting referrals, competition with big business that are affiliated with hospitals. Okay, gotcha. All right, so Oh, caregivers that will work the schedules, getting caregivers. You know what? I have a very good solution for those of you who are having trouble with caregivers, but we're not going to exactly talk about that today, but we certainly can help. So that's what I needed to know. What are your biggest struggles with growing your home care business? Just referrals from hospitals. All right, so let me ask you all this question. Are you using your website and social media in conjunction with your networking and in-person marketing? Are you doing both? Give it a real thought. Are you really taking all of that stuff that you're doing offline and making a note about it online? Not nope, yes, no. It's okay they say no sometimes, no, somewhat. It is very time consuming, would you agree? Website, yes, social media, no. Facebook is a waste of time. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. It's not a waste of time. Okay, so I see lots of questions and lots of stuff. So the answer, the best answer would be, are you using your website and social media in conjunction with networking and in-person marketing? The answer, the best answer is yes, you should be. But I understand that, and one person says here, we're part of a franchise system that has complete control of our website. Kim, there are ways around that, and right ways around that, not trying to skirt the system. But we'll talk about that. So you should be combining these two. So in order to get to that person, that gatekeeper, in order to get to that social worker, that discharge planner, that person that you've not been able to get into, using the internet is a really good way to get to all these folks. You must dial in, folks. So let's see here. We're going to keep going. So now I'm going to talk about 4 real marketing fears. So we've talked about our struggles. We've talked about whether or not you're using O2O marketing. Some of you are, some of you aren't. And I'm just going to write this one more time. Let's see. You must dial in to get audio. Yay. Okay, so 4 real marketing fears. Now you let me know if any of these resonate with you. Some of you are probably fabulous marketers. Okay, but these are 4 fears that people have told me over time and ones that I've experienced and certainly still experience today. Fear number 1, I'm not good at opening doors with a smile. I don't feel like I'm a great in-person networker. Do any of you ever feel like that? You're not really a great in-person networker? And a lot of you are saying, yes, I hate networking. And some of you are saying, no, I love networking. I'm great at it. I totally love it. So, you know what? I understand that. I would be honest with you. No matter how much you see me online or you hear my webinars or you hear me speak at a large event, if you've ever done that, I am not a great networker. I can stand in front of a crowd and speak. I can get on a webinar with 200 people, 300, 500 people, 1,000 people registered, and I can give a great performance. But when I go to a one-on-one networking event, you know, I'm okay. I'm not afraid to shake hands and smile at people and talk to them, but I'm not what I would call a great networker. I kind of don't like it. So that's one of the things that has been a fear of mine. I suck at selling. Does anybody else kind of feel like that? You feel like you kind of have to sell your business and you kind of aren't really good at that? I feel like I kind of suck at selling. I can educate all day long, but I'm not a really great salesperson. I've never, you know what, just kind of, well, I'm going to tell you this in a minute anyway. I'm a registered nurse by trade. So selling, taking care and fixing problems is really my forte. But selling people a solution is not my forte. So I suck at selling. And I'm getting a lot of you that are saying, I suck really bad. Yes, I suck. I have fear of someone saying no and lots of yeses. So I know that you all absolutely feel the way I feel about that. Okay, and this is a big one. And I know most people feel this way, especially if you're the owner and you're wearing all the hats. But even if you're a mom, you feel this way a lot of times. I don't have enough time to do everything I need to do. And I'm saying this with regard to marketing. You know you have to do payroll, you know you have to find the caregivers, and sometimes there just aren't enough hours in the day. I feel like that a lot, and if you ask me to do one more thing that I, add to my marketing routine, I'm just going to lose my you-know-what because So I know there are lots of people out there that feel like they're already kind of overwhelmed with this marketing thing, and they're not exactly sure if they're doing it right to begin with, and to ask them to do one more thing is kind of crazy. And then the last one is one that I overcame, and a long time ago, but I certainly felt this way. I have no idea how to manage online marketing in 2015. I am not a Facebook user. I'm not a LinkedIn user. I don't know what a blog post is. I don't know how to write one. I don't know if our website's up to date or not. I have no idea if our website's even worth anything, or if it's doing us any good, or if anybody ever even calls from our website. I have no idea. Well, there was a time as a registered nurse when I felt this way too, but that was several years ago. But even back then, I had no idea what I was doing online. So those are the 4 main marketing fears, or I guess irritations that I hear that I've also experienced. And I kind of, we've already been chatting about this. I say, what do you think? Type it in the chat box. Well, we have been chatting about this, and I see that a lot of you feel the same way or have felt the same way. So I want to show you something that happened to me. And what you see on the screen is from the start of my business to today. Now, I am not a home care agency owner. I'm a marketing company. However, a lot of us have the same small business owner type issues or the same marketing issues. So I started this business, LTC Expert Publications, in 2008. I had written a book or two, and I have been able to get myself on the Today Show and do some things like that, and I thought it was pretty cool. And it was a lot of fun doing all that fun stuff. So grew the business, started doing this for other people, other home care agencies specifically. I could get somebody on the home page, on the front page or the first page of Google in their market in 24 hours back in 2008. It was so easy. So in 2009, our business grew, and just as a side note, 2008 was the year that the market tanked. Housing went into a tank, everything kind of tanked. But people were still buying my services, home care agencies were buying my services, I was doing what I was told them I would do, and all that stuff. It was really great. So by 2010, we were making a good amount of money. And then in 2011, the market that tanked in 2008 caught up with the home care industry a little bit, at least from our perspective. And guess what the first thing to go is when a business is barely able to keep their doors open? Of course, marketing is the first thing to go, especially internet marketing. So in 2011, we did not grow at all. We didn't, suffer horribly, but it definitely was a crazy year. But then in 2012, 2013, 2014, things came back. So I have had these struggles, those fears, those things have happened to me just like they happened to you as a business owner. So I wanted to kind of give you the history of what, kind of who I am and why I resonate with some of this stuff. First of all, like I said before, I'm a registered nurse by trade. And I was never trained to be an internet marketer. I was never trained to create websites or Facebook pages. Absolutely no way, shape, or form was I internet savvy. I had triplets in 2007 with my husband Charlie, and this is a picture that you see on your screen of them. My triplet, they're all girls, believe it or not. I know Sammy kind of looks like a boy, but they are all girls. And this picture was taken, we were on a ferry going across the river between Missouri and Illinois a weekend or two ago. And so this is a picture of them on the ferry. So in 2007, they were born. Now in 2008, I had the bright idea of starting my own business. Now, I have been the sole breadwinner since the girls were born. Charlie and I decided that he was going to be a bee, and he was going to take over that, and we had some help on top of that. But in 2008, I really wanted to go out on my own and start my own business. So I was the sole breadwinner since the growth. So I always had a part-time job working for someone else, and I worked from home because I needed the health insurance benefits. And so I always worked from home, but I traveled a whole lot. So I was a breadwinner, traveling all the time, and it was kind of driving me crazy. So I decided I was going to take the leap. And in 2010, when we were making some money finally, George Nobeson and I became business partners. And that is when I left the last job that I had in 2010. And of course, it was the end of 2010, and then 2011 wasn't very good. So I was nervous as I could be. I can remember, and this had nothing to do with George. He was like the rock. So I would be George. I'd say, George, you're going to have to go back and get a job. We had all the same fears that you all have. 2011 was the first year I was on my own as a business owner, and I had a lot of doubts. But I had been doing something for a couple of years, and I sat down and thought about it, and I realized that everything I had done, and the reason clients were still coming in, and the reason that we were going to survive is because it was all about blog post, every little ebook, which is really easy to do, by the way, every video, every webinar, every infographic in this day and age, all the things that we had done every single week without fail and put out there on the internet and went through our website and encouraged people to learn more from us. All that stuff that we had done all those years was making a big difference for us. And it will make a big difference for you. You are in the home care industry, but because you are either owning it or marketing it, you are the expert. People need you to tell them how this is going to go down. They need your expertise. They want to know that you are passionate about this. And the only way you can show them you're passionate about it is by proving it and by putting it online. Content builds relationships. Relationships are built on trust, and trust drives revenue. If you want revenue, you have to build trust in your local community. There's no way around it. It's the best way to be the top home care provider in your area, is to build trust. And the only way that's going to happen is if you actually take the time, change the way marketing has been beat into your brain, and understand that putting content online is the way to go. So marketing is telling the world that you're a rock star or your business is a rock star. Absolutely, you need to be a rock star in some way, shape, or form in this competitive market of home care. And we've seen this happen over and over again. When you become that author, that your business becomes the Facebook page with thousands of people who like it in your local area, when you're reaching out on LinkedIn, when you're pushing that content out and you're sending out newsletters and you're doing all the things you're supposed to be doing in 2015, when that happens, your content marketing shows that you really are a rock star. You really are one, and that builds trust. And people say, you know what? I don't know why we would go anywhere else. These are the most visible, educated, sharing, compassionate, and passionate people that I've ever met. And this is where we're going to go. So that all sounds like a whole lot of work, but I'm going to show you a 5-phase complete system for rockstar content. You can do this. You just need a little plan and a little path. I did a webinar called the Yellow Brick Road. It's just a yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road of this 5 phases, and you'll have your complete method, and you can put this into action. So there are lots of different types of content. We're not just talking about writing an article. We're talking about blog posts, which is writing an article. We're talking about videos, and no, you don't have to sit in front of the camera. We're talking about interviews. I'll explain that. Articles, maybe on other people's websites, not just your own. If you've ever seen an infographic, some of them are funny, some of them are serious, some of them are, you can have one made or make one yourself. podcasts, which is you speaking into a microphone and telling people how to take care of an aging parent. Webinars like the one we're doing now, you can do this. This is not that hard. E-newsletters, we'll talk about that, very important. Emails, just, standard follow-up emails. Documents, educational documents, not your old, worn-out stuff, but something fun, simple, and easy. And, of course, slides. You can turn slides into anything. I could turn this slide deck, we call this a slide deck, into a PDF, which then becomes a handout. So slides are a really important, marketing piece. You can use any of these as marketing. A photo could be a piece of content. Just so we know that up front. So I'm going to talk about the planning phase, the pre-marketing phase, before you ever step out the door, the live marketing phase while you're in the event or at the networking event, the post-marketing phase, and the automated follow-up phase. So there are several phases of this. I'm going to make this go away for a second. And we're going to go with the planning phase. Boy, that turned out dark. Planning phase, phase 1. What is happening in your business life in the next 30 to 60 days? Think about this for a minute. It's September. Is it Older Americans Month is in May, but September is the start of people gearing up for flu season. It's the start of the weather cooling off in certain areas, like here in St. Louis, where I am. It's the start of the fall. It's the start of senior fairs. It's the start of flu shot events. It's the start of Alzheimer's teens getting ready for their walks. Some of them are coming up really fast. This is the time of year where it's the easiest, as far as I'm concerned, to market. The holidays are upon us, believe it or not, unfortunately, already. So what is happening in your business life in the next 30 to 60 days? Now, I told you that when we got on this call, I was going to give away something at the very end. And at the very end of this webinar, I'm going to send you, and I'll just do this by email, I'm going to send you all of the help for marketing, online and offline. There's a website that we use. I'm going to send you both of those so that you can plan your next 30 to 60 days if you don't already have a plan in place. Okay, so the pre-marketing phase. So what you want to do is write 1 or 2 paragraphs about each community event and marketing event that you are participating in. And if you're not participating in any right now, you need to go get involved. So whether that is a senior fair, or it's a speaking engagement, or it's hosting someone else's event at an assisted living facility, or it's getting a team together for the Alzheimer's walk, or joining someone else's team, whatever that is, you should have some things lined up in the next 30 to 60 days. Make it happen. Make this happen. You can do this. Plan ahead. Get involved with your community. And if you are really involved with your community, write 1 or 2 paragraphs about each community event. Line them out on a piece of paper or in a Word document and write up the who, what, when, why, how, and where. I will also send you the who, what, when, how, why, and where article so you know how to write this up. You just want to answer those questions. Who should attend, or who is going to attend the event? What is the event, or what's going to happen at the event? Where is the event? How do people get there? What should they expect? And, so when is the event? You can answer all of those questions. And once you go through the who, what, when, why, how, and where, you have your paragraph or your 2 paragraphs. So that's your pre-marketing phase. I want you to, even if it's a chamber meeting, whatever it is, write up a paragraph about it. Do that right now. Not right now, but when we get off here. Now, the live marketing phase, this is the phase where you are at the event. You just need to keep this in the back of your head. You don't actually have to do it while you're there. But you want to take some notes or mental notes. Take some pictures. Write down what happened at the event you attend, the good stuff. And ask questions. Interview lightly. That means just go, ask, if it's a senior fair, ask the seniors, what made you come today? What was the attraction? Probably the free stuff. Or maybe it was the flu shot. I don't know. but interview a couple of people just off the cuff and say, what made you attend today? Or ask a non-competitive vendor, meaning if you're a home care agency, go ask an assisted living facility, what made you attend this event? What was the reason that you wanted to have a booth here today? Was it because you knew it was well attended? Was it because you wanted to network with other vendors? Do you ever get business from it? Just ask a few questions. And then after the event is over, now you've taken a few pictures too. Take a picture of yourself at the booth. Take a picture of yourself with the event organizer or a speaker or somebody. Do that. People do it all day long on their cell phones. Then there's the post-marketing phase. You're going to write up 1 to 2 paragraphs or thoughts about each event and post it to your blog, your Facebook page, and your e-newsletter. So before the marketing event happens, we're going to go back here. In the pre-marketing phase, you're going to write up all of this stuff. And what I didn't put on here is that you need to put it out there on your website, on your Facebook, on your LinkedIn. Tell people what you're doing. Explain to them what your community outreach efforts are going to be in the next 30 to 60 days. And you don't have to put it all the activities in one article or one blog post or one post to Facebook, but you could put them in there one at a time. That's a lot of good outreach. Share with your community what you are about to do. And in the post-marketing phase, it's okay to go back and say, here's what we did. We did all of these things, or we did this thing today, and it was great. Remember, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Well, we had it today. Hope you were able to make it. Here's what happened. Here are some highlights. Here are some pictures. It's going to be another great event next year. Hope you all can attend. We really like meeting the people of our community. This is the post-marketing phase. And then number 5 is automate your follow-up. So let's say at this event, whether it's a chamber meeting or it's a senior fair or it's whatever it is, you need to automate your follow-up. So at those events, you had better be collecting as many names and email addresses as you possibly can. That might mean walking around to the other vendors and collecting their business cards. That might mean asking seniors to fill out a small form so that you can send them, I don't know, and follow-up information. They can register for your giveaway, which is probably what they're more interested in. Some of them will not have email addresses. Some of them will only have snail mail addresses, but some of them will have email addresses. You should always ask. At least some percentage of seniors have an email that they check regularly, and most of them are on Facebook. So there are a couple of things you can do. One of the things you can do is make sure you have a small flyer or page that all it talks about is your Facebook business page, the website address of your Facebook business page, and ask them when they leave there to please go like it and share it. And anyone who likes it and shares it will be entered into another drawing for another little prize. So that way, when you do post your stuff to Facebook, you have a little set of new fans who are going to see all of your posts. They may not need your services today, but they might need your services tomorrow. Or they have a friend who suddenly falls and breaks their hip. But that senior just met you the other day, and they were really impressed with your social media and your Facebook page, perhaps, and they pass your information along. So automate your follow-up. You want to make sure you get as many email addresses as you can. And yes, you need to have an e-newsletter. You must have an e-newsletter. I'm going to tell you, this is my car analogy. I've said this many times. Some of you have probably heard it. A lot of people say, oh, e-newsletters are junk mail. They are just yucky. They're spam. Nobody reads them. And that is not true. And I will tell you why. You may think they're spammy, but here's the deal. Elder care issues and elder care problems and people who need a solution to their elder care issues are looking for answers. When you're in the market to buy a car, you are looking at ads. You are noticing the ads on the TV, or you're hearing them on the radio. You're looking at stuff on the internet. You are suddenly very tuned in to all the car ads and all the things that are going on. When you are, and before that day, before the moment when you kind of decided in your brain you were going to start being in the market for a car, you never heard any of that noise. That was just beta waves. It went straight past you. You ignored the car ads, you ignored the newspaper, you ignored the television, you ignored all that stuff. It meant nothing to you. It's just, just noise in the air. But all of a sudden, all of it matters because you need to start making decisions. Same with elder care. The day before I have an elder care issue, I notice nothing. I delete your e-newsletter. I do not care. I'm living life and, living the dream, blah, 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 blah. The day mom has a stroke, the day dad falls and breaks his hip, your e-newsletter means more to me than anything else I receive that day because I know when she gets discharged or he gets discharged that it's going to be me that's going to have to take care of them, and I have to work and I have kids. So you might be my solution to my elder care issues. So that's why it's so important that you have something out there that is an email format that is a newsletter follow-up. If you still want to do snail mail and pay exorbitant fees for print, you can go ahead and do that. They get file 13 just as much as e-newsletters get deleted. But e-newsletters are cheaper, they're faster, and they'll have a better impact if someone can just click on the information they need. Now, if you have a subset of people that you know will never use the internet and you want to send them a snail mail newsletter, by all means do that. But email newsletters are the way considered spam by someone who's in an elder care crisis. All right, this is what an e-newsletter can. This is one of our clients' e-newsletters, and what we did, just so you know, we use a system that takes the information from their website, the blog posting that we've been doing for them. It puts it into short paragraphs, so it just pares down that article into an excerpt, and it puts those last 4 blog posts into the newsletter. And if they want to read more, they have to click on the read more text there you can see in green. They have to click on that. And if they click on that, then it takes them right back to this person's website. Well, that's awesome because on that website, there's a form they can fill out if they need help, and there's also a phone number that they can call. And you'll notice in the header of this isn't a fancy newsletter. It doesn't need to be fancy. You just need to give those people who open this newsletter a way to get a hold of you. And the 90% of the folks who are going to contact you are probably going to do it by phone because they need to talk to a human being, unless maybe it's after hours or something. But you want to make sure your phone number is very prominent on everything you do so that they don't have to guess at how to get a hold of you. So this is one version of an e-newsletter. Actually, this is automated. It goes out every month without fail. The only requirement of the person who has this system is that they take those business cards and all those email addresses they've collected over the last couple of weeks, and they put them into the e-newsletter system so that those people will receive their next monthly newsletter. That's the only requirement. There is some things you have to do. Put those email addresses in there so that these people are getting your newsletter. So I've talked about 5 phases along with automated follow-up. This is sort of what it looks like. I love this slide because it shows your website right in the smack in the middle. Your website should be like a wheel, a hub. It's a hub for everything. And all of the things you do, no matter what they are, conversations, networking, bookmarking, talking to people, information, participants, audience, voting, sharing, connectedness, photos, shaking hands with people, texting, whatever it is, all those things, all those people that you reach out to should be able to access your website, and as long as it's not personal and it's educational, all those events and all those items and all that cool stuff that you're out there busting your butt to do need to go on your website so that they also can go out to social media, so that they can also help with your search engine optimization, so that they can also make sure that your e-newsletter is filled with cool articles and cool event information for the next month when it goes out. This is how marketing in 2015 works. This is the way it works. So if you're busting your butt and you're out there and you're shaking hands, looking people in the eye and beating the pavement every day and it's not getting you anywhere, reach out to people online. There are ways to connect through Facebook with your local community over and over again Well, even if you have to pay for it, it's so cheap. You can boost a post for $5 on Facebook. It's super, super easy to do. There are lots of cool ways to get out there and get identified. Now, someone said LinkedIn is better. LinkedIn is your professional to professional networking, and Facebook is your community outreach. If you have 1,000 people page, not you personally as a friend, but your Facebook business page, and you go to an event that has, let's say you go to some kind of event and there's a speaker and there are 25 people show up. Well, you got to talk to and network with 25 people or seniors or whoever they are for that event. But if you put it out there on Facebook, how many more people are going to see what you just did and note what your community outreach was for that day and be interested in the pictures? The 1,000 people that are on your Facebook business page. Those people will comment on it. They'll like it. They'll look at it. We have one page that's actually national, so it's not a local one. It's called Alzheimer's Care Daily, and we have a website that's alzheimerscaredaily.com, and then we have the Facebook page for it. There are 10,000 people on the Facebook page for Alzheimer's Care Daily. Now, that is no comparison for the Alzheimer's Association, which has probably, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people who have liked that page. But it drives a ton of traffic to Alzheimer's Care Daily, the website. In fact, that is probably the biggest traffic driver to our website. You can do the exact same thing. Okay, so this is what it should all kind of look like. So I'm going to go back to this for just a second. Types of content. We reviewed this once before. I'm just going to kind of say it one more time. Blog posts, videos, interviews, articles, infographics, podcasts, webinars, e-newsletters, emails, documents, and slides are all types of content. So now I'm going to ask you another question. Before I ask, I am going to make sure that I can see the questions. View questions. How many of you have time for this? How many of you have time to do the 5 steps that I just talked about and put all of your stuff? I mean, be real. Be real. Do you have time? You do. You just don't know how. You don't. You don't. It's a lot of work. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Yes, some of it. Okay. And how many of you would have time, but you probably can make the time and make sure that it's happening? And I would agree. Many of you could probably make the time if you understood the importance of it, but probably need just a little help getting down that path every month. And so that's what we do a lot of. We provide some of it done for you, and sometimes what we do is we help. We help a lot of folks. So I'm going to tell you, when you think about your 5 phases, I'm going to tell you what your must-haves are. Now, these are the things that you must do online in order to make sure that everything is, that the end result is your phone ringing and you're getting leads. So the must-haves are that you need local SEO by town or city. And what I mean by that is your website should be search engine optimized for your local towns and cities that you service. Some people like to say, oh, I'm just going to search engine optimize by county. People don't search by county. If my mother lives in West Winnemucca, Nevada, and I didn't grow up there, I have no idea what county that is. I just know what her mailing address is. People local to you will know counties, but that's not how they search. They search by city or town. I live in St. Charles, Missouri, which is also in St. Charles County. If I lived in O'Fallon, Missouri, I would also live in St. Charles County. I don't search for home care in St. Charles County. I search for home care in O'Fallon, Missouri, because St. Charles County is huge. And somebody could be 25 miles on the other side of town, and that's not really helpful for me. I want somebody right there in my town or city next to my mom's house. So I know that they're more accountable, that they're right there. Their caregivers probably live nearby. I need town and city search engine optimization. That's what you need to have on your website. You need continuous, original, local content. Those 5 stages that I just talked to you about, that's your continuous, original, local content. Now, you can also have content written for you, not about the events that are happening in your local area, but definitely about elder care, senior care, and home care issues, educational articles that are search engine optimized by your local town or city. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't still be contributing those event type articles. You need offsite publishing. Well, what is that? That means that you have articles. I mentioned Alzheimer's Care Daily a few minutes ago. Alzheimer's Care Daily is a national website. You can go look it up if you want. It's alzheimerscaredaily.com. You need to have an article on a site like that because you need the backlinks, number 1, to your site to drive your website higher and higher in the search engine rankings, and because it's a great in-person marketing tool. Oh, by the way, look at this article I just wrote on Alzheimer's Care Daily. Isn't that awesome? So I'm just kind of being facetious, but it is a really good marketing tool. You need to have a blog with a feed. Now, if for those of you who are locked into a franchise website, sometimes that's hard, but most franchises, and we work with all the big ones, are willing to let you have a blog with a feed. You need to have that. And so if you are an independent home care agency, you definitely need to have a blog on your website. A blog is where you write articles. Done correctly, managed correctly, in order to get you the results you're looking for. And you need to have LinkedIn, you need to have Twitter. Twitter's not very important in home care, but LinkedIn and Facebook absolutely are. You need to have that local e-newsletter, not the one that your corporate office publishes, but the one that you publish that has all of your community outreach efforts and your pictures and your articles in it. That's what you need to have. And you need to have some reputation management. And that means just knowing what kind of reviews are out there, approving ones that are good, and taking care of customers who might leave you a bad review. So you need to make sure you have reputation management under control. So those are the must-haves if you want to have your online and your offline marketing meet up. These are the things that make a difference and make your phone ring. Success factor number 1. Your website, it's your professional image, it's lead capture design, it's local search engine optimized, it's got to be mobile responsive to these days. That means if you squish it down or if you look at it on your phone, it lines up in line and is still very readable. It doesn't have this tiny little text on it. It's very mobile responsive, and you can tell the difference. Google just penalized people April 21st for not having mobile responsive websites. So if your website is 2 or 3 years old and you know it's not mobile responsive, it's time to get a new one. You need to have clear calls to action. This is just a screenshot, but you can see at the very top of this page it says call us today, and it has the phone number. It has places where you can, and in the middle, for immediate info on service and pricing, call us. If you want to fill out a form, get started today. There's easy ways for you to get a hold of these people. Integrated content distribution. That is a fancy way of saying once your blog post goes on your blog, boom, it goes out to Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, and it goes out to all your social media and your e-newsletter, and it does it automatically. Easy to set up. You should be doing that. And you should have a tracked phone line. Some people say, oh, we have the same phone number for 25 years, and da-da-da. If you're not getting phone calls or if you don't know where your business is coming from, you should put a tracked phone line on your website. You don't have to put it on your business cards, just on your website and maybe your social media. And listen to those calls that are coming in, and you can determine, is it a lead? Is it a referral? Is it an employment job seeker? Is it a current employee? Is it a current client? You need to know what's happening when your phone rings. If you don't know what's happening, or you don't know what it sounds like when your office person answers the phone, you could be losing business and not even knowing it. So this is success factor number 1 for combining that online and offline. Success factor number 2 online is that you need to have a keyword plan. I bet no one else in the world will ever tell you this, but this is so important. So this is an example of a keyword plan. This is what our blog posters use when they help people and they put articles on their website. We say to the client, what are the top 10 towns that you would like to service? Top 10 towns where maybe that's where your wealthy folks are that can afford your services. Maybe that's places where you'd like to get more business from or you are getting business from. Tell us your top 10 towns, and they give us their list. We match those words up with the home care words that consumers type in. This isn't different than pay-per-click. This is organic search marketing. So we marry all that up into a matrix, and we blog post with those keyword phrases every single week. And the reason we do that is because we don't want you to just show up in one town, the town where you're located. We want you to show up in a radius of 10 towns or more. And I do know that all of you probably service 100 little towns or cities in your area. But if you could pick out the top 10, that's what we're going for. So here's an example of a keyword plan. It's prioritized by geography, keyword phrase, and we use it to search engine optimize the main pages of a website and to guide our blog posters. Success factor number 3 is continuous content publishing. Blog post a minimum of once per week, so you should be writing content. If you haven't hired someone to put the content on your website for you, you should be putting content on your website a minimum of once per week. If I could get you to do it every day, that would be fabulous, but I'm smarter than that, and I know you're all very busy. Minimum of once per week. 100% unique content. If you have someone already writing articles for you, I want you to do something for me. I want you to go to copyscape.com, C-O-P-Y-S-C-A-P-E, copyscape.com. And I want you to take the text from your latest article, and I want you to copy all the text. And then I want you to paste it into Copyscape, and I want you to tell me, or tell yourself, actually, don't tell me, how many results show up that are a duplicate of that article. I bet you'll be surprised. The content on your website needs to be 75 to 100% unique via copyscape.com because Google will penalize you for duplicate content. So you need to make sure that if you have someone writing content for you, that it is 100% unique. Your content should be a minimum of 400 to 500 words. Well, why do I say that? 1 to 2 paragraphs should take care of it. You don't need to write a dissertation. 400 to 500 words sounds like a lot, but if you answer those questions, who, what, when, why, how, where, then you're going to get your 400 to 500 words. It needs to be written in your words, and the reason that we say 400 to 500 is because Google doesn't like to index pages that don't have any words on them. So if it's less than 400 words, it's going to just pass it by, and then you've kind of wasted your time. So make sure that you have content that makes a difference. You need to optimize for top keyword priorities as well as many lower volume keywords. There's other keyword phrases that we just incorporate into every article. They're long tail keywords. Feed blog posts to social media and your monthly newsletter. We talked about that. Once you put a blog post on your website is the hub for everything. You put it there one time and boom, it goes out to all those other places automatically. That does happen. You need to publish a local company newsletter about people, events, and celebrations and educational content. And you need to publish articles about your key referral partners. Have you ever thought of that? What about going to that local assisted living facility? You can't get past the gatekeeper, but you have the business card or the email address of the administrator or of the marketing person or of the discharge planner. What if you set up an interview with them for your blog, your newsletter, and your Facebook page? Wouldn't that be a brilliant and easy way to get into the door? And guess what? I have the entire step-by-step system for that you can have. Absolutely no problem. Because it works really well. Okay, engage through social media. So Facebook, LinkedIn, feed content from your blog to your Facebook and your LinkedIn. Boost important posts. $5, $5. Invite everyone on your email list to like your page. Facebook paid ads will build your likes. You can spend just a little bit of dough on Facebook paid ads and get people in your local community to like your pages. Don't do this wrong. Don't put up an ad that goes out to the entire United States of America for likes, because no one in California is going to call you when they need home care if you're located in New Jersey. You don't care about the people in California as much. We really care about the people in Manalapan, New Jersey, or in Hamilton, New Jersey, or in Atlantic City, New Jersey. That's the only people you care about, because that's the area you service. So make sure you do it correctly. And of course, you need to publish your testimonials. Every email, every handwritten letter, don't keep them in a binder. Stop that. Stop that. It's craziness. Stop the binders. Type them up, make sure you have permission, and put them on your website. Put them on seniorservicereviews.com. Put them somewhere besides in a binder. No one's going to see that unless they've already decided to do business with you. Success factor number 5, automated monthly e-newsletters. Woohoo! Fed from your blog. Build the best email list in your territory. Prospects, potential referral partners, clients. Push quality information out once a month. Engaging articles, company news and events. We've talked about this over and over again. I gave you the 5 phases. Employee celebrations. What if you have caregiver of the month, caregiver of the quarter? What if you have caregivers that have been with you for 1 year, 5 years, 3 years? You should be celebrating that, because caregivers are so transient. People love to know that your caregivers love you enough to stay with you. So when you do have that kind of a celebration, make sure you tell the world about it. Testimonials, client stories, and co-publish with referral partners. So if that assisted living facility loved that article that you put out about them, and maybe they got a client from it, wouldn't they love to maybe put a little article out there about you guys? That would be awesome. So this kind of e-newsletter stuff keeps you top of mind and builds engagement. When our newsletters go out for our clients that we put together, the engagement goes up tenfold. There are emails flying back and forth. Love your articles. Thank you so much. Glad I'm on your list. You think it's negative, but it's really not. A couple of them sometimes say, I meant to call you last week. Mom fell and broke her hip. Now I really need home care services for her. I'll let you know when she's getting ready to discharge from rehab. Thanks for putting me on your list. Those are the kind of people that you want to have reach out to you when they need care. Success factor number 6. Authority offsite publishing and backlinking. Okay, these are our 5, well there's 4 here, but there are 5 websites, or maybe even 6, that are national websites. Alzheimer's Care Daily, Help for Aging Veterans, Reduce Hospital Readmission Rates, ding, 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 and Living Care for Seniors, and we also run homecaredaily.com and LTC Social Marks. So these sites are national sites. You can build authority and trust in your local area by having content on these sites. You are welcome to go and look at all of the articles and all of the content that from our clients that is posted there. And guess what? They didn't have to lift a finger for those beautiful articles. We did it all for them. It's easy for us to do that, because that's what we do. If they want to contribute content, absolutely they can contribute content. Those articles that we post in there for them also give them a backlink back to their website, and that's very valuable for their website. And they take those articles, they print them out, and they use them as leave-behinds and follow-ups. They email the links of those articles to people who need Alzheimer's help at home, or who have an aging veteran in their house who needs help, or to that doctor's office that is desperately trying to reduce hospital readmission rates. They use those in their marketing, in person and online, your O2O marketing. Okay, success factor number 7. Build trust with reputation management. I talked about this a little. I'm going to go through this quickly. You need a high volume of positive testimonials, no negative. You need to eliminate those negative reviews. If you were a steakhouse and you had 1,000 reviews because you're a high, well-known, very valued steakhouse in your local area, the 5 or 6 or 9 or 10 even negative reviews that people leave over the course of, say, a few years are going to be buried by those 990 other positive reviews. In home care, you're lucky to have 100 reviews in the lifetime of your business that people allow you to put online, just simply because this is a private, personal business. And we frankly are in a business where a lot of our clients and their adult children are not web savvy, and they'll never go online and leave a review. They're not 20-somethings. So having one negative review on Google+, My Business, or on Yelp is disastrous for many. So stick to services like seniorservicereviews.com that allow you to deal with negative reviews in a way that puts them in a customer service mode and does not allow them to be plastered all over social media. They should be searchable in your key towns. Make sure they're on a third-party site like Senior Service Reviews for credibility. They are also distributed if they go live to Facebook. And the seniorservicereviews.com, by the way, is accepted by Google as a valid review service. It's coded correctly. It shows up in your Google My Business stuff. It's really good. And you can also distribute this to prospects. So if somebody says, well, can I have the name and number of the three clients I could call? Well, you know that's a HIPAA violation. You're not supposed to do that. But what you can do is send them to your website or to your Senior Service Review site and show them all the testimonials. So this is kind of what everything looks like. This is a big matrix of information. So when I talk about online to offline or offline to online methodologies, all the things that you do go in all these different directions to help you get more leads. This is a trust-building exercise, authority and trust. And by the way, if you're typing in questions, keep typing in questions, and I will answer them at the end, and you're welcome to do that anytime. SEO management, tracking, and reporting. This is something we do for our clients, and I hope that you have someone doing this for you. So I told you about the keyword plan that you should have for your local area, your top 10 towns and all that stuff. Well, this is what that kind of looks like. So you should have a keyword plan for your territory, your tracked phone lines, your social media publishing reports, your monthly performance reports, your active SEO management, and your SEO performance consultations on the phone to go over all of it. If you don't have that going on, you ain't got nothing going on, because you couldn't possibly know how well a program's working for you. This is a look at a brand new client, and it shows you where they're landing on Google for certain keyword phrases. And this is brand new, so they're not on the first page for everything. But I just sent an email today to somebody congratulating them for 8 of the 10 towns that he wants to show up on the first page of, gave us 10 towns, and I congratulated him today that he's showing up on the first page of Google for 8 out of those 10 towns. That is awesome. That's like 35 keyword phrases that consumers type in. He's on the first page. You can't beat that. And there's other folks in our mix that are doing even better. So if you wanted to engage in all of these things and you didn't have the time and you needed help or you needed someone to teach you how to do all of it, I want to show you what we normally do, and then I'm going to show you what we are doing. So normally, we provide every single service I just told you about. We build websites, do all the social media, the keyword plans, the Google optimization, original article and blog posting. We do that. We publish company news. We do a monthly local e-newsletter. We do the authority sites. We do the reputation. We do the SEO. We do everything. Sometimes people have a website they love. They don't need a website from us. And normally we charge $1,000 to set that up. If they do need a website, and then we charge $495 a month. If they do need a website, we charge them about $2,895 setup fee and $600 a month thereafter. That's because we're hosting the website and doing all kinds of other crazy stuff. And usually we ask people to sign a 6-month agreement. But we know that's a lot of cash, and we know that's really hard for a lot of people. So George told me I could do this. Now we did this last week, or 2 weeks ago, I guess. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. And we were overwhelmed with people signing up because some of them need a little help, some of them need a lot of help, but they all want to learn, and they're learning from us. So he told me I could extend this offer until September 15th, which is just next Tuesday, so it's really pretty close. It's not that long. But for a limited time until September 15th, and it really is until just September 15th, You can get Program A, which means you already have a viable website, a WordPress website, you like it, or you can't afford to have it upgraded right now, and you want to use it. It's a flat fee of $495 a month. There's no big setup fee, but it does require that you participate with us for 1 year. And then Program B is for someone who knows they need a website. They absolutely need one. It's been 4 or 5 years. It's horrible or whatever, or you just don't like it. And that flat fee, we waive that $3,000, and we just do a flat fee of $799 a month, but that also requires 1 year of participation with us. If either of these is interesting to you, you can email me right now, because I don't have room for more than 20 agencies to add to our suite of services right now. So for the first 20 people that send me an email, I will send you a contract and set up a meeting to discuss. I do not expect that everybody who sends me an email is going to be right for either of these programs, but if you want to see the contract and you want to have a discussion, and I really mean that, we don't want looky-loos and tire kickers. If you really want to talk to us and know whether or not you can afford it or whether it's right for you, how much help you'll get, our private marketing sites, our Facebook private groups, all the things that you get, plus all of our clients are in for free a program called Home Care Revenue Builders, by the way, which is a Steve Weiss product, and we put you in there for free. But anyway, if you email me right now with your information and your website, I need your website address. If you're going to email me for a contract and to set up a meeting to talk about it, then I need your website address so we can take a look at your website. I don't want you to build a new website if you don't have to, but I do want you to get help with content, and I do want you to get help with social media, and I really want your phone to ring. I really, really want your phone to ring. So Program A, $495 a month, Program B, $799 a month. Both of them require your participation. Our other programs I showed you, where there's a setup fee and then a lower monthly rate, those only require 6-month commitment. It does take time for all of this to work. So if you're the kind of agency who is almost out of business and this is your last hurrah, this is a Hail Mary, this probably isn't for you. But if you've been around a while, or you know you have the cash flow, and you know that one client would make up several months of this fee, one client would make up for several months of this fee, then this is probably something worth doing. We don't want people to be strapped for cash. That's really important. But we know that a lot of folks are signing up for this. The last time we did this, a few weeks ago, or I don't know, I mean, the deadline was September 10th, and we were completely maxed out. So that's why I'm only taking 20 agencies. There are 200 people on this webinar live. So I know this will go, the 20 agencies will be done, and there will be hundreds and hundreds of people who will watch this between now and September 15th. So we will absolutely sell out of the 20 agencies, or at least set up appointments to discuss. So with that, oh, my bonus. I didn't tell you what the bonus is. You know, some of you will never stand up in front of an audience and talk. I understand that. But I have 5 PowerPoint presentations that I'm pulling up out of the vault and updating, and you can have them, and you can use them in dozens of ways, and I'll give you a full guide showing you where and how to use them as marketing materials. So if you send me that email and request a contract and a conversation, that's all it is, and you actually sign up, you will get the 5 PowerPoint presentations that you can use in dozens of ways. And these are all elder care related. They're educational. You can put your logo on them. You can do whatever you want. I'll give you a full guide that tells you how you can use them. You can give them away as giveaways in PDFs. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with them. You can use them as short speaking engagement presentations. They're very valuable. They're already done for you. All you have to do is put your logo and your phone number on them, and they're all yours. And I give you a complete guide as to how to use them. So if you sign up, I'll give you those. Usually people buy those from us for about $300 or $400. So that's a really nice bonus. But no matter what, because you attended this webinar today, you will still get all of the information that I talked about up front, which is the healthcare celebrations calendar, which I will send to everyone, and some of the other tips and tricks we use to find content. So throughout the year, that's fun stuff. So I'm going to go, let's see here. Okay, this is my last slide, and I am going to take questions now, so I'm going to move my questions pane around. The email address is valerie@ltcep.com, so the VALERIE at L like Larry, T like Tom, C like cat, E like egg, P like Paul.com. You email me for a contract and a conversation, and just so you know, you're probably going to talk to George. George is my business partner, and he handles contracts and conversations. Sometimes I'm on the line too, but 9 times out of 10 it's going to be George contacting you. So if you're serious and you want a contract and a conversation, George is happy to oblige. All right, so, okay. Someone says, we need upper management to understand this is important. And I understand that, Carrie. Sometimes it takes a while. Maybe showing them this video, or maybe, you know, showing them. I will post the slides on SlideShare and email that to you. So sometimes what you need to do is make sure that they see the SlideShare. They might not want to watch the whole webinar, but they can see that. The audio cutout, what was that place called? The Copyscape. Copyscape.com. Copyscape, S-C-A-P-E, if you want to see if your content is original. I have families that are calling for their parents in New York. Yes, you probably have families calling everywhere for their parents who live in New York, but you really want to focus your attention on Facebook on your New York communities that you service. Downloadable, but you will be able to see a link. You'll be able to flip through it. And yes, I will send out the recording, by the way. How do I obtain a copy of the presentation? You will be able to watch this as many times as you like on video, and you will be able to see the PowerPoints, the slide deck. Will you go into more detail about a blog feed? This is a standalone blog that when made active, it will feed to my Facebook. Mark, your website, if it's a WordPress website, it already is set up to have an RSS feed. So anytime you have a blog post that goes up, if you post a post, if you put an article up under posts, it will automatically go out. It won't go anywhere, but it will be in your feed. There is a couple of different tricks we use to make sure that when you post a post to your website, and it's a WordPress website with a feed, that boom, it goes out to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and to your e-newsletter. We set that up. It's something anyone can do, but that's something that we do for folks. How do you get around Google's penchant for only using keywords for the agency location? My husband says Google wants AdWords for you to get outside the city your office is in. Well, Google does like to pinpoint you as a brick-and-mortar location, and your Google My Business map listing will probably only show up in your local area unless you're in a really rural place. However, when you blog post and when you use organic content correctly, just like I said there today, I was congratulating one of our clients. He shows up for 8 out of the 10 cities that he originally gave us. He is now on the first page of Google for 8 out of 10 of those cities. Not in the maps, but his website shows up. If you type in home care this city, home care that city, he is on the first page of Google for all of them. And the only reason he is there is because of what I just went through in this entire webinar, and that is content, content, content. So yes, it's possible. How long did it take your mentioned client to get to the first position on 8 out of 10 towns? Number of months. We tell everybody that 6 months is a good amount of time that you should be willing to invest. 6 months is, sometimes in some competitive markets, I've seen it take up to a year. But 6 months is what we tell everybody. A minimum of 6 months, and if you're not, on the first page for all of your keyword phrases, that's normal, but for a majority of your towns, it's always going to take time. It used to be that we could put somebody on the first page of Google overnight. It is so far from that anymore. 6 months. Sometimes you get lucky and it's sooner, but 6 months. Confidentiality privacy agreements are my business. Give you provide service for several businesses in the same industry sector. I'm going, how is it respective info protected, and how is the content you develop from them different from what you develop from other? Okay, so here, you're talking about if I have 2 clients in, say, Houston, Texas, how are their blogs and their websites protected and kept separate? First of all, if anybody ever wanted us to sign a non-disclosure agreement, we absolutely would do that. That's not a big deal. Also, no one receives the same content ever, and our name is not on any of it. So we have 1,000 articles a month, 1,000 articles a month written. And those 1,000 articles are all unique to one another. We have 51 writers at this moment. So yes, we write a lot of content. It is unique to everyone. So your content is not the same as your neighbor's content. We are also very smart, and we know that in a given city or in a given state even, depending on the size of the state, we can only have so many clients, and then we're competing against ourselves. What I see happening when we have several people in the same city is that all of them are at the top of the first page of Google after a few months of being under our services. They may switch spots. One may be number 1, one may be number 2, or it may go back and forth for a while, but they're all on the first page of Google. So that is, but we also are smart enough to know that we can't take that many clients in a given city, or we would be doing ourselves a disservice. We're very interested in the integrity of our own business. So that should answer some of those questions. Are patients influenced by the referral sources more or less than e-marketing? Referral sources are always going to be your best referral, your best lead is always going to come from a human being, no doubt about it. But if you are out there and you're getting your word out and you're sending people your newsletter and they happen upon it at a time when they need help, or they happen upon your Facebook page, they're much more likely to call you than to wait when they're in crisis. Will you be sending out today's webinar via email? Yes, yes, we'll be sending out all of the stuff that you're looking for there. We'll be able to see a replay of this webinar. I've answered that so many times. Yes, 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 yes. Can we get the 5 PowerPoint presentations without the monthly agreement? How much? Nope, we have to do the monthly agreement in order to get the 5 PowerPoint presentations. I won't give them or sell them or give them away. So today's slides will be on SlideShare. They will not be downloadable. We don't give away our proprietary information, but we will put it up there and you can click through it on SlideShare, and I will send everybody the link. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate you attending this webinar. I hope that you've sent me an email at valerie@ltcep.com. I hope that you're one of the first 20. I will check my email when I get off this webinar, and we'll start sending out contracts and setting up meetings. Please be serious, because we certainly are, and we certainly want to help. So with that, having said that, for all of you out there who are watching this recorded, thank you so much, and I see a lot of thank yous coming across the screen. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you all again soon, hopefully. Thank you. Bye-bye.